then I hit the record button and
we'll go.
we're on the podcast.
Cool.
So, really nice to meet you, Paul.
Yeah, nice to meet you, Anton.
Yeah, I heard, like I said before, a lot of good things about you from Grungic.
Thank you.
And today we can also make the follow-up on the label situation. That's super exciting. But for the beginning, I would say just give us a quick introduction of yourself for the listeners, for the ones that don't know you yet.
Yeah, well, I'm Paul. My artist name is Lost Tribe Music. There's two of us. So Lost Tribe Music has always been a duo, which I do with my wife as well.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So she is kind of more behind the scenes. I obviously do all the interviews, and if we need to do like a video where we're showing our face on Instagram, it's usually me that does it. I think she's only ever had her picture taken like 2 times or something like that.
Okay.
But if you go back through some of the discography, you'll see her name as a co-writer on a lot of the tracks, particularly some on the first couple of albums. So yeah, she kind of dips in and out of it. But yeah. So.
And how do you split the work then on the music?
She kind of does it when she has inspiration. So yeah, she likes to do it when she feels like it. And then if she a lot of the time she'll come to me and say, "Oh, I've got this idea. I've got this chord progression. Can we do something with this?" And then we'll sit down together and we'll do it. But a lot of the collabs and stuff is me, because a lot of people just want guitar and stuff on their track. So a lot of the time that's me, and I'm just playing. And so I've worked on quite a lot of the tracks by myself, but she's kind of come in and helped with a lot of the collabs as well.
That's good to know. So if I need a guitar, I will hit you up. Then.
Oh yes, yeah, please, man. I'd love to work with you. That'd be really cool.
Because like I told you before the recording, I have a guitar standing here, but I don't really can play it. But my goal is actually because I also do like 50% covers, 50% originals, to get an electric guitar. And just, play with the tabs. That's pretty easy. And should be enough for like covering a specific line in a song. But
absolutely.
Enough about me.
Well, actually, I was listening to some of your covers before I came on while I was just doing some stuff before I signed in. And I really enjoyed the Pokemon covers. They were really good, man. And I was listening to, hang on, I've still got it open on here. I was listening to the Chill Farm one on YouTube.
The recent album.
Yeah, that was good. I really enjoyed that.
That's from a game called Rune Factory.
That's it, yeah.
It's kind of, if you're familiar with the games, like Harvest Moon, but way more niche.
Cool.
So I still have this roguelike where you have to fight and clear dungeons, but still having your farm and talking to dragons. It's so trippy, this game.
It sounds awesome.
And the soundtracks, I was just mindlessly playing the game during Christmas, and then I realized, wow, these songs are just fantastic. They're so chill. And having like fantastic chill music and flip that into lo-fi beats is a no-brainer. Yeah, exactly. And it's a no-brainer.
Good for you, man. Sounds really good.
You're only doing originals from what I heard from you before.
I've done one cover, actually, for Good Vibes Only, which was a cover of Nick Jonas's Jealous, which is, I flipped it and did like a kind of a jazz hop type vibe for it. I think originally he wanted to do some kind of like a compilation of covers, but he just was like, I will just put this out.
Okay, I see. So it used to go into compilations, but you released it as a single.
Yeah, we just decided to put it out last year sometime, but everything else has been original stuff.
Okay, interesting. That's so cool. Especially like the part that you work on the music with your wife. That's very unique.
It's cool. Yeah, it's really nice.
I had an interview with Blau, and he also has his wife involved, but she's doing the cover art.
Oh, nice.
Like
very good.
She draws them herself.
Fantastic.
And this episode will come out, I guess, exactly in a week when we are recording today.
Cool.
So yeah, a bit before this episode.
I look forward to listening to that one.
Yeah, it's a really cool one.
Excellent.
Interesting story. So the Good Vibes Only. I saw something on Instagram. Is that now the one brand that your label is collaborating with?
Yes.
I saw it on Instagram.
Yeah, that's correct. Well, sort of. We've actually become a sub-label of Good Vibes Only. So we started it. Well, we started the label, I think, last October or November, and we were with Two Lost Distribution before that. We had a label account with them, and then James from Good Vibes Only, about probably 6 weeks ago, I guess, he hit me up and said, because I've released a lot of stuff with him, and Grungix released some stuff with him before as well. And he said, do you want to be a sub-label of Good Vibes Only and have your distribution go through Dashgo and that kind of thing? We were like, yep. So straight away. So yeah, he's kind of created this thing called the GVO label group. So we're not the only sub-label involved. There's quite a few other ones as well. There's one doing like a dub type thing, which is really cool.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah,
I love
it's really, really good stuff. Like some of the stuff they've been posting up on Instagram is really good music. There was like a hip hop thing, and yeah, so we're kind of all under one umbrella, and yeah, it's been working out really well so far.
I can't stress it enough. Go with Dashgo.
They're so
in
good,
my opinion, the best
yeah.
distribution service out there.
Yeah, well, funnily enough, we actually tried to get the account with them when we first started, but they probably, well, because we hadn't really done anything just yet. So we, you know, I don't think they were interested at the time, but then we just went ahead and did it anyway. And then after a few releases, we.
Okay, but one question. Have you emailed them once for getting the access to distribute?
Yeah, it was. And then we probably just needed to keep on it. And then
that's the thing I tell everyone. You always need to mail them twice.
Yeah, follow up.
The first email, I know like now a bunch of guys probably can count from two hands now, who requested access and only get an answer on the second email. So also a little tip for the listeners.
Tip for everyone else, yeah. Mm-hmm.
You really have to send out the second email, but after you get everything sorted out, that's the cool thing about Dashgo, you really get someone who is looking out for you. So you will get a contact person, and you can really talk to them, like directly email them. And they will get things sorted out if there's something that needs to be sorted out, you know, like little mistakes happening in the distribution.
Yeah.
But I also did not experienced like something wrong in the distribution. They were always set up perfectly.
Yes.
Only the one time that I messed up. But
yeah,
I knew that
we've
I
already messed up before, and it was our fault. So
but they can fix that, and that's so cool.
It can all be fixed. Yeah.
Because I also kind of plan to do an episode on kind of bashing on bad distributors, but I still not sure if I should do that because it's so negative.
Yeah.
I have like a really, really bad point of view when it comes to like DistroKid, especially if it's like pushed from so many influencers in the scene and YouTubers that are all pushing for DistroKid because they get their own affiliate link and earn money with that.
Yeah, sure.
But the thing is, in my experience, if you want to go for releases with collaborators, if you want to have a bunch of collaborators, you end up spending so much money.
Yeah, you do. And that's why we went to Two Lost originally, because the monthly fee was cheaper, but you get unlimited slots with the label account. So that was really good. The only problem was to be honest, was the payment conditions. So you had to make, I could be wrong, but you had to make quite a lot per month to be eligible for withdrawal. I think it might have been $100 or something like that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was never going to happen. Like, and the other problem is that for our artists, you know, if they've got like one or two releases with us, you're never going to do it unless the track went bananas, you know.
Yeah, exactly. and that's how they end up making money. That's also interesting. I'm not sure at the moment if Grunchick mentioned that distributor or not, but I heard from it, and it was the first time hearing from them. It's kind of not that big of a name.
Yes, I don't know how long they've been going for, but I mean, DistroKid, I didn't have too many problems with them. I mean, at least they're fast, and one thing that they do actually is that they do really support the YouTube music side of it, because you can claim your artist profile and that kind of thing, which was good. But I understand they've got.
But you can do that with every other distributor.
True, yeah.
The only difference is with DistroKid, it goes more automated, so you just click through the menu.
Sure.
And with the other distributors, you just need to get in contact with someone.
Yes.
But that's also the good part. You get in contact with real persons.
Yeah, absolutely.
I remember it was this winter, and I had previous releases with collabs and all their artist aliases on DistroKid. And there comes this yearly bill for $250. And I was I should have done it before, but now I'm gonna download everything that I released with DistroKid, re-upload it on Dashgo, just use the same UPC, and all the track details have to be
I've just done exactly the same with all of my DistroKid releases.
And then just delete the account. It's not worth paying the $250 a year. And if you need support, you first have to go through this bot system.
Yeah, I've heard that doesn't really work that well.
And also, I really had a super bad experience on the support when it came to deleting the account or all the releases. Yeah, I knew how to delete the account. It's not difficult to find. You go to the menu and click delete account, right? But the problem is if you're set up to receive splits from other who just put you in the split list,
exactly.
You still have to need your account running. And at least basic membership for $9.99, what is pretty cheap, you have that to go on. And I asked them 7 times in the email after the chatbot and talking to a real person, and then they switch the real person 2 or 3 times. And I'm asked hey, I took down everything. I have not a single track released with you anymore. I manually deleted them. Can I downgrade the account to the $9.99 just to receive the splits?
Yeah.
And they never gave me a straight answer. They're just if you want to delete your account, go to settings, press delete account. And I mean, those messages came through the email with a real person's name on top.
Oh, wow. And it's still a copy paste reply.
And this person changed 2 or 3 times, and I never got the answer for my question. And I asked this question in 7 different ways, so they really understand what I want from them. And I just got this generic answer that is explaining how to delete the account and not pay at all. But there's, as I understand it, they just don't want to tell that, is you cannot just downgrade your account to the basic. You still have to pay the $250 a year.
Yeah, well, I've literally just taken down the last DistroKid release thinking I could do the same. So this is quite an eye-opener for me. Nah. So yeah, I guess I might just forgo the splits that I'm on and just say, okay, because you have to weigh it up. Is it worth it, just to get that little payment or, yeah.
The thing is, with our kind of music, it usually peaks in the beginning after the release.
Sure.
And if it's over a year old and it doesn't blow up on, let's say, TikTok or somewhere, and the people really start to listen to it a lot, it will get forgotten. So that's kind of the sad part about lo-fi as well. Because, if you're not landing a big viral hit, the music is only listened when it's new and it's fresh, because there's so much new music coming out every week, especially in the chill genre. That's why I really thought about getting like more very unique very unique like style inputs on that, like mixing it up with elements from other music genres.
Yeah, totally agree with that.
And then
go on.
no, all good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to do the same thing with my music as well. You know, trying to take as many influences from not just different genres of music, but things like films and sometimes, I don't know, like art and that kind of thing. I mean, the latest jazz album project that I've got going on I took a lot of influence from art and particularly from like the neo-expressionist movement and like painters like Basquiat and that kind of thing. So I'm trying to keep it fresh like that.
Oh, that's a good thing. What is this neo-expressionism? Because I heard that before, but I never Googled it.
It's kind of an art style. It was quite popular in the 80s, I think. But it's kind of like it's like an approach to how I wanted to make the music as well. So it's kind of like get it done quickly and as expressive as you possibly can. So lots of bright colors, that kind of thing. So.
Yeah, I think now I know where I heard that term before. It was probably a video from Venus Theory called Get Shit Done Quick.
Yeah.
Or Get Your Music Done, something like that. He did a bunch of videos on that topic.
Yeah, I'm all for that, actually. I like to try and get it done while it's hot.
Yeah.
I think the pieces of music that I've struggled to complete have been the ones that I kind of started and then I had to leave it for a bit rather than being able to finish it within hopefully in the same session or at least within a week. If it had to sit there for a while, I found it difficult to come back to and finish it, even though I pushed myself through to do it, but it can be a bit of a struggle.
Okay, yeah, I totally agree on this point. Because when creating like a new piece of art, especially an original that you write yourself, you're capturing the mood that you are in exactly at the moment when you start doing the song and really get into the exact same mood in a later time. It's hard. The only thing what really works is to get it done like the rough project, with intro, verse 1, a bridge, verse 2, and the outro. And then just leave it for a week or two and then get the mix down.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
And not add anything to it, just do the mixing. That works perfectly fine.
Yeah, I mean, because I'm also, I believe if you want to come back to it with fresh ears as well. Mm-hmm. So, perhaps you get it done in 1 session, 2 sessions, 3 sessions, and then you leave it and, as you say, come back to it and do the mix and maybe the master a bit later on. But I like to try and hit it while it's, while it's burning hot in my head and you think this is good. And you need to just work fast and record things quickly.
Yeah.
And I don't spend loads of time now kind of combing through sounds because, like all different kick drum sounds, I try and find the first one and just go, that'll do, and drop it in. Because I don't want to kill that momentum, if that makes sense.
That makes totally sense because, I mean, you can still change out the kick when the song is done.
Yeah, and you don't have to stick with it, but I try, exactly what you just said.
It's just like to keep the momentum. I totally understand that. I kind of view the things exactly in the same way.
Yeah.
Get it done as quick as possible. Or I view it as blocks, the block of... having the melody and the structure, then the block of doing the sound design and sound selection, and then the third block is the mix and mastering.
I love that.
Because, if you have everything laid down but you're not happy with it, just switch some sounds. If you think the melody is good, but it doesn't sound right, it's more often the instrument than the initial melody.
I agree.
Also, if the melody is too boring, just put a nice delay on it, and then it gets like fancy.
Delay fixes everything, doesn't it? It's so good.
What's your musical influence from before you start making chill beats?
Yeah, well, it's interesting because I started playing guitar when I was I was about 12. I was just about to turn 13, and I started with my dad's music collection, actually. So it was all kind of rock and like Santana, that kind of thing. Yeah, like
but
classic
Santana
rock.
Is like
a bit
name.
Jazzy as well, you know. But yeah, so and things like Thin Lizzy and that kind of thing. And then it soon evolved into, I got really heavily into jazz when I was in music school. And that kind of evolved into like funk and soul and that sort of thing. But I guess the biggest influence for me is probably jazz and jazz fusion. That's what I tend to find I'm listening to the most in my free time. Well, apart from lo-fi. But yeah, that's the big one for me.
Fair point. So in your free time, you also listen more to instrumental music than, or I don't know, I'm not a big jazz expert, but I think jazz is often instrumental, right?
Yeah, I listen to kind of like a lot of the modern kind of fusion artists. Like, actually, to be fair, I listen to quite a lot of Jacob Collier, and he does a lot of stuff with vocals. But I guess like Snarky Puppy for, they're kind of pretty much all instrumental, and Wolfpack, that kind of thing. So yeah, but I also, I still listen to stuff with vocals on it. Doing what I do, I kind of need to keep up with the chart music as well. So, I still listen to some of that stuff now and then. I dip my hand, dip my toe in and see what's current. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you have to. Exactly. I really love pop music.
Yeah, I do love pop music.
But not everything of it. Just like the really cool ones.
Yeah.
I'm at the moment heavily into Aurora.
Haven't heard much about Aurora actually, but
I bet you
rings a bell.
Know
the song
tracks.
When you hear it. Yeah, sure.
You for sure know the song Runaway, but I now discovered more songs of her, and it's so good.
Cool. Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
just like the sound selection and that. I think that's what
it's
I really
more
love.
The voice of her.
Oh, the voice.
That really gives me goosebumps.
Oh, wow.
It's fantastic. And yeah, the sound selection, it's kind of ambient, really relaxed, but with such a powerful and energetic voice. It's kind of unique.
Fantastic.
Very unique. Yeah.
I'm going to check her out.
I will send you a track. I will send you a track that I currently listening on repeat the whole day long. Let's switch to your track that you sent me in. I will have it play for a quick moment. Are those real drums?
No.
But it really sounds so realistic.
That's Easy Drummer 3, actually. So
what?
Yeah,
it
really
sounds like
good.
A real drum. That's so crazy.
To be fair, I think they sampled tons of real drums and real drummers to get the fills and stuff. Because for this tune, I really wanted that sound, that kind of like the more natural, real drummer type thing.
Yeah, and it got this smooth jazz influence. So you played the guitar yourself, I guess, obviously. And that's a cool tune, man.
Oh, thank you, man. I'm really glad you like it.
This is a single from your upcoming album, you told me, right?
Yes. So the album's called The Joy of Expression, and that's the 4th single that we've released so far. It's with Good Vibes Only. This was before we did the whole sub-label thing with them. I hit him up last year and said, can you release this album for me? It's not exactly lo-fi. And he was like, great. So we're going to pitch it more as like a jazz fusion type thing. So, and yeah, that's the fourth one. There's 10 tracks in total, and we are releasing every single one as a single before we drop the full album.
Yeah, makes sense. Really makes sense in like the modern days of music releasing, because you can also pitch like every single track to the release radar on Spotify and all that. Yeah.
This was the mistake I made before, actually, I think, with the last two albums, is that we did like 6, there were 8 tracks, and we did 6 singles, and then we dropped we dropped the whole thing with the 2 kind of bonus tracks that people hadn't heard. But, you know, you think, oh, probably should have pitched that one, you know, because you never know.
Yeah, that's so true. Interesting. So the album is already fully produced and finished.
Yeah.
And now you're gonna release a single by the other.
Yeah, so the singles are coming out every 2 weeks. So I think the album should be out by June. Yeah.
Cool. I will keep my eyes open for that.
Thank you very much.
And also hit me up when it's out.
I will do. Yeah, thanks, man.
That's really cool. And I really enjoy when people are in this chill music scene, but really got their own fingerprint on the music.
Yeah, I love that as well. I love hearing that from artists, particularly some of the guys who have submitted to the label for release consideration. Because obviously, I know Grungic was saying last time about how the kind of the aim of the label is kind of not exactly standard lo-fi. It's kind of lo-fi with a bit of a twist, bit of a difference. So every time you hear someone who's got that vibe going on, it's really nice to listen to.
Yeah, I can imagine. And it's important to...
Yeah.
Otherwise it gets boring, and this kind of music stands out from this cliche of it's only background music. You know?
Yeah, I agree. And not that there's anything wrong with that. It's just nice to hear different stuff as well.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, I really enjoy to appreciate music, even if it's in the background.
Me
kind
too.
of with an active ear on that, you know, while doing other work and you're listening to some beats. For me, it should not be like just some noise in the background that you really don't get any attention to it. It should be more like a kind of riding the mood.
Yeah, I agree.
You know?
I like to listen to stuff that has at least, you know, maybe there's a melody or some kind of structure, or, you know, someone's really put some thought into it, or they're trying to tell a story. That stuff really grabs me, my ear.
Yeah, true. That's very cool, man.
Thank you.
So what's your other plans then for this year? So the album is already produced. That means you have already everything sorted out till June.
Yes.
More or less.
Yeah. I mean, there's some other stuff coming as well. So I've got so many unreleased tracks that it's kind of difficult to get them all out. But Grungic and I have a collab album coming out soon as well. We finished it. We just need to find some time to schedule it between both of us, keep releasing tracks at the time. So it's not a typical collab album in that we actually worked on the tracks separately. So I think I did 4 and he's done 4 as well. And we've just put them all together, and it does have kind of a theme and you know, a kind of a post lo-fi sound, shall we say. So that's going to be cool. And I'm just about to finish an EP with my good friend Gutters of Glory Music as well. So that'll be coming out at some point. And yeah, there's a lot of singles and stuff scheduled. I've got some tracks coming out on various compilations from Lo-Fi Alumni on his label as well. So yeah, it's busy, as well as all the label stuff that I'm doing as well. So it's good fun.
Very busy man.
I love it though.
Yeah, and you can hear that in the tracks that you're doing it with pleasure. And
thank you very much. I'm glad that comes across, actually.
Yeah. How big is your guitar collection? Because you told you have more than this 6 that we see. Okay, one is a bass.
I've got two basses actually. So
5-string bass.
Yeah, that's a 5-string bass, and then actually sitting right here is a 4-string bass as well. So yeah, there's two basses. There's two acoustics, and the electrics I can't count. I think when I counted it before, I think it was about 13 or 14.
Oh,
in total, so two basses, two acoustics, and then so I guess 10 electrics would be.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So I love them. I can't. I'm always looking at the next one as well, much to my wife's dismay. But
yeah, it's when you're into collecting something, you really cannot stop yourself.
It's just it pulls you in all
What's
the time.
Your favorite one? That's a tough question.
That's like asking a father to pick his favorite child.
I know. But let's make it easier. What's your favorite electric one?
Yeah, sure. I would say I've got a Richie Kotzen signature Telecaster, which is behind the camera at the moment, which is just out of my grasp, so I won't try and reach it. It's actually I busted the D string the other day when I was doing a guitar lesson, so I need to restring that. But that's the one that I think I've had that one the longest. Oh no, wait! I've still got my first guitar over there. No, but it's done the most gigs, and it's done. I've done a lot of work on that one. It's had a refret. I've had it for about 15, 16 years now, and it always feels really good to pick up and play.
Lot of a story behind this one guitar.
Yeah, it's done. It's been everywhere as well. It's been pretty much all over the country in the UK as well. So, yes, we've bonded.
I see. What's about that? So you're playing in a band and go for gigs?
Yes, I do. That's another part of my income as a musician. So I play in a wedding band. I run it actually. So on top of everything else I do, but yeah, so that's called 24 Carat. And we do weddings and parties mainly around the Essex area where I'm based in the UK.
Okay.
So I've been playing in bands since I was 16 actually. So in different things. I used to be in a rock band. Used to be in a soul band as well, but kind of settled on this, and that does really well.
Okay, I see. So you're really living as a full-time musician?
Yes.
With all that different income streams. That's actually one of the most intelligent ways to play in a wedding band, because usually the fees are higher.
Yes.
It's the same for, let's say, photographers.
Weddings is where it's at.
They do really the most income on weddings.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
that's a genius move.
Thank you very much. Well, I mean, I really enjoy it as well. I mean, it's great to have. I mean, normally with a wedding as well, you get quite a captive audience because they're all there to have a good time. Yeah. So it's really rewarding, even if you're playing. I mean, sometimes I play a song that I've probably played 100, 200, 300 times before in front of people, but because they all go nuts, it still feels really good, and it still feels really good to watch people having a great time.
I can
imagine. When you're the one doing it as well.
Also, the vibes are always great. I mean, there's maybe some exceptions to that, but I guess at the wedding, usually the vibe is super high and happy and very, something to really enjoy. It also brightens up your mood when everyone around of you is in a great mood.
Yeah, it's always a happy occasion. Well, as you say, most of the time, and it's just nice to share that with people. And it's also, I still feel quite honoured to get asked to do it, to be part of someone special day, because they're going to remember you for the rest of the. Well, hopefully, they even if they don't stay together, they're still going to remember who they had at their wedding. So that's a nice thing to be a part of. Part of history, even if it's just someone else's history. But yeah, I love that part of it.
Have you ever played on someone's wedding twice?
Well, nearly, right? So I have, I have one coming up that the first one, I don't want to say too much, but the first one, it didn't happen. And then they've kind of booked us for the one that
Okay.
This is definitely, so the first wedding that, that couple didn't work out, but one of those persons then went and booked us for
the second one.
For their next
yeah,
wedding.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that was my.
So they didn't make it to the altar. They'd already booked the band, and so that's going to be really cool.
Okay, yeah, I just had that scene in my mind that you are there playing at the wedding, and like 10 years later,
someone else's wedding. Yeah.
Hey, Paul, I'm remarrying. Do you want to come play again?
I didn't even realize you got divorced.
And also, I can imagine you get really good food every time with the catering.
Yeah, it's really good stuff.
That's really a brilliant move.
They're very hospitable. I've been to ones where they go, here's some of the cake, help yourself to the sweet table. And so it's really nice. I wouldn't want to do it all the time because I'd be about 20 stone, I think, by the end of it. But it's a nice way to make part of my living as well.
Yeah. And having fun.
Absolutely.
That's kind of the most important thing. You get good food, you're having a good time, you make people having a good time, and that's part of your daily job. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I love it.
That's really fantastic. And I guess you mostly play like covers.
Yeah. So stuff that's going to work. I mean, we do a mixture of stuff. So we do a lot of stuff that came out in the last sort of 10, 15 years. So Bruno Mars, Ed Sheeran, Taylor Swift, that kind of thing. But we do a lot of classics as well. So we do some stuff from the 90s, Oasis. We do a lot of 80s stuff as well, because that kind of had a revival recently. So lots of Fleetwood Mac, Luther Vandross, some Bon Jovi. It's all different stuff that, and that's actually really helped with my guitar playing and with my creativity, actually, with the stuff that I do for the lo-fi sphere, because you think, you kind of learn something, and then I don't know, it kind of comes out in a different way when you go to do something of your own.
Yeah, you can take like let's say a cool chord progression from a song that really works and kind of play it in another rhythm,
change the key. Yeah,
exactly, change the key, put another melody on top, and then you have this influence, but nobody will ever.
It's not plagiarism. It's just you were influenced by it. So
exactly.
Really nice.
And I mean, I bet you know this one video where they play like 100 different pop songs with the same 4-chord progression.
Axis of Awesome, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Those guys are so hilarious.
Yeah, they're great. And I think they've re-recorded that set.
They made a second.
They did, because they got so many more songs come through, because there's just so many songs work with those 4 chords.
I bet there are like thousands of songs with the same 4 chords. That's crazy.
Easily.
And kind of analyzing songs that were super well produced and written by like experts.
Absolutely.
I bet that helps.
It does.
The same happened to me from doing the covers, but I mostly do like covers from soundtracks from like anime or from video games, and that's a complete different way of writing a song. If it's not like pop, or if it's not in the rock way. But recently I started to do like rock covers.
That's cool. Yeah, great stuff.
That's
it's a challenge, because you have to try and adapt it, because it's been recorded and presented in a certain way. And it's the same thing that I was really impressed with the Pokemon stuff, because I know those tunes from playing the games. So you got a recognizable thing, but it's kind of like, how am I going to fit this into a lo-fi hip-hop beat? So that was really cool, man.
Because they're like super energetic in the video games when playing it. It's like super turned up, and you have to kind of turn them down. But that's a really cool challenge, actually.
And you've got to figure out the harmony and stuff as well, and the melodies and that sort of thing. So it's super impressive. It must have taken quite a while to do it as well.
For the melodies and harmonies and stuff, I take help from this one page called MuseScore. People can upload sheet music, and then it's just like getting something that sounds good to you, and then kind of play with it.
Sure.
For lo-fi, you usually make it slower anyway, and then to give it that hip-hop feel, just kind of offset
Yeah,
the
you've still
melody,
got to
give it
do
more
it.
swing.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say you need to give it a bit of swing and a little bit of kind of an off-grid kind of type feel.
But at the moment, I'm so happy for doing like old rock and metal classics. I put one out already. It's the Fear of the Dark by Iron Maiden.
Yeah, what a track. What a great song.
I love the track. And it's such a challenge. Yeah.
I'm going to check that out, man. Yeah, because the other thing is that stuff is kind of really straight in terms of the beat and the riffs. So you've got to take that and give it a bit of that swing, give it a bit of that groove, that hip hop feel. So yeah, I mean, I'm definitely checking that out, man. That sounds amazing. I really like Iron Maiden as well.
Yeah, me too. And also the one challenge that I really want to get is with this other artist. He's also a guitar player, Sing for the Laughter. And yeah, we really want to get the hardest rock song and make it chill. Nice. Through the Fire and the Flames.
Oh,
that's our goal. The one from Guitar Hero 3, like this insanely, what is it, speed metal, I guess?
Yeah, definitely. I've heard of that track, yeah.
This track goes hard. It's just like...
And you need to take that and really slow it down, chop it up.
We haven't started yet, but this goal is set and it have to be done this year.
I can't wait to hear that. You're gonna have to send me that in my DMs when you finish it.
I will. Probably will take like a half a year or something.
Oh well, it sounds worth the wait. It sounds really cool.
Okay. So we already talked about your plans for this year. Is there anything you want to share, like from your musical journey, or like, I don't know, maybe something that you also want to do this year, or maybe some personal stuff would also be cool. Like, because we talked all about music right now. What are you doing besides the music? Like,
well, my whole life is music, because again, another thing I do is during the week, I teach guitar and bass as well. So I give guitar and bass lessons. So that's another part of my income. So yeah, when I'm not kind of preparing for that and learning tracks and then learning stuff for the band and then doing my own music, it doesn't leave lots of free time. Well, or not free time, but time away from music. But I like sports. I watch football when I can. I watch a lot of movies with my wife. I like to try and keep active as well, go for walks. I find that really helps, actually, just to go outside and just clear my head for a bit. Most of it, it sounds kind of boring, but I guess 80 to 90% of my life is music. And then I just kind of fit other activities in between, try and see my family when I can and that sort of thing.
Totally understandable.
Yeah, but I'm just really immersed in it at the moment. So yeah, I used to play video games and stuff, but I don't even get time to really pick up my Nintendo Switch anymore. So, but I do, if I can, every now and then I will chill out and play some games and watch some TV, watch some series, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's kind of important to, at least if you're not can do it one day in a week, to have like 1 day per month.
I agree.
At least to not burn out and just take a day off.
Yeah, I'm on the sofa or something, just watching some films with my wife and just chilling.
But yeah, I can see if you decide to not work a 9 to 5 and be a full-time music producer and musician, it just means that you work all the time instead of 9 to 5.
Yes,
but also you love to what you're doing.
I was going to say, it never really feels like work. I always really look forward to getting up every day and just doing what I'm going to do.
Yeah, exactly. There's this one quote, like, if you love your work, you never work a day in your life.
Yeah,
I don't know by quote. Who that quote is.
Yeah, I don't know who said that, but yeah, it's so true.
It is. That's how. Yeah, it's impressive to hear all that stories that I haven't knew about you, like
Thank you.
All the hustle that you are into.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. obviously, the money is important, but I just love music. I love listening to other people's music as well. I love opening up Instagram and just seeing what everyone's doing and seeing all the tracks that everyone's bringing out. And if I can support my friends and fellow artists, then I will. So yeah, it makes me very happy.
Yeah, I can imagine. And funny that you mentioned that Instagram is like really the way to discover new music at the moment.
Yeah, which is weird considering it wasn't really the original purpose of the app, I would imagine, but it's just become like that and it's great.
Yeah, I just realized that recently, for me, the way to discover new music is like this 1 to 3 hour long mixes that have like the songs in the description.
Sure.
Where you can just like copy the name, put it in your Spotify, make your own playlist. And then recently, it was, I guess this week when I realized this don't even work that well anymore. Yeah, when taking a mix that is older than, let's say, 5 years, it's still a thing.
Wow.
But for, let's say, you just want to discover some, let's say, chill music. Nothing that is modern or that is human-made. The internet is overflowed at the moment with like 1 hour long mixes all done by AI, like the whole music, the cover, and the whole channel. And yeah, it's not even that easy anymore to get like someone who really takes the time putting up an album or let's say a compilation with real musicians. You can go to labels, yeah, that works. But on the same side, if you really want to get a lot of new stuff, you cannot get into like a specific themed compilation because it's all kind of in the same theme,
Understood.
This is good for vibing because, okay, I feel like I want to listen to like some spring chill out music while doing this and that. And then you go for a spring compilation and that's perfect for the vibe. But it's less for like really discovering an artist that you can get into it.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that can be hard to find new people. So yeah, I mean, I think everyone I discovered on either Instagram or TikTok.
Yeah.
And all the people that all the guys that I've either, I've collabed with or found or put them on a playlist or whatever, I was kind of a fan of them first, if that makes sense. I would just listen to them and thought, I really like what you're doing. So yeah, that's been the best way for me to discover some new music rather than, like you say, like on a mix or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. And totally makes also sense the way you describe it, because you're at a point where you have so much experience and such a limited time at the same time doing music that you cannot just like, spend time to collabing with everyone. And it's also nice to have this opportunity of really picking what works for you, where you hear, okay, I really enjoyed this style and it kind of fits with my style. It's not like biting the different musical influence.
Yeah, I mean, I've done a lot of collabs as well in the past, and that's really helped me actually find my own sound as well, because you get to discover like, well, that worked well, perhaps that didn't work as well. So yeah, as you say, you can be a little bit more, I guess, selective, I guess would be the word.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, having said that, it's still really cool when someone hits me up and they give me something where I'm like, would have never considered trying this before, but I'm going to try. Okay. I'm going to try and finish it as well at the same time.
Okay.
And then you never know. You never know what you're going to learn. Even if it's just, you think at the end of it, you think, oh, it's not great. At least you gave it a go.
Yeah, true. I also agree on that. I just thought that, with all the different projects, you kind of are limited to say yes to everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
You can really... I know it from the beginning in my journey. I could really say yes to everyone asking me for a collab. But with the time also now, with this podcast, that also takes a good amount of time from the day, just cutting and preparing and everything. It's just not physically not possible to.
No, you can't be in that many places all at once. Yeah, absolutely.
But also kind of having a catalog to pick from is also kind of feels good.
Yeah.
Especially, you can also sort it by the mood you're in, you know?
Yes.
I'm in this mood. Okay, this would work now as well.
Absolutely.
Because you cannot really pick your mood. You're just into it.
Yeah, it's just kind of how you woke up that day.
Exactly. You cannot force to do, like, let's say, to do a jazzy song today if you don't feel like it.
If you're not feeling it, no. And same with if you're feeling in that mood, and you can't just then do a sleepy beat or something like that.
Exactly. Having like already 10 coffee intus and then like, okay, let's do a sleepy beat.
Yeah, I think that's probably why my stuff's becoming more jazzy, because I think I've upped the caffeine intake recently, so it's all like on edge and wired all the time.
Well, yeah, same here. So hardly coffee addicted. How do you drink your coffee?
Black. Most of the time. Yeah, me too. Very, very black, very, very dark. Normally a teaspoon and a half now as well. So yeah, and I used to drink 2 a day, and now I drink 3. So yeah, and sometimes the other day I drank 4 or 5. So I'm getting crazy, you know.
Yeah, I know that. I always start like to shaking with my leg, you know, this restless leg syndrome thing. But
yeah,
I only do that when the caffeine intake is too high.
Withdrawal symptom, I think, isn't it? Because suddenly it's like,
it's like when you're shaking with the leg all the time. Yeah. And I realized that like yesterday, did something on the computer, had already 5 coffees, and I was like shaking. And my girlfriend was like, you're so nervous, you're making me nervous.
No, I'm just hopped up on caffeine.
Yeah, exactly.
Good stuff.
This is such a great question, how you drink your coffee. It was also a podcast episode with my friend Chad Papp. And he asked me that when we started the podcast. It was kind of late and my brain was already kind of ready to sleep already.
Yeah, sure.
And then we start the podcast and he's like, and how do you drink your coffee? Kind of switch the roles in the podcast. I will not forget that moment. It's so.
I love it. That needs to be
funny.
Signature question every podcast. How do you drink your coffee?
I should really do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Because they do. When you listen to podcasts, they kind of all do have a signature question, I think, or maybe 3, and then that should definitely be all, man.
Yeah. Okay. My signature question is always in the end of each episode.
Right.
But I'm not sure if this is way more comfortable to say. If I keep forgetting about asking it every time. But I think in 90% I did not forget about asking that. And we can actually right into that because we're already nearly on a 1-hour recording time.
Nice.
And then we can discuss a bit about that. Especially for you to ask, since you're really living it. What most musicians want, you know, making full-time music, don't have to go to a 9 to 5 and, I don't know, do stuff besides music.
Yeah.
If you could give like an advice or something that you learned in your journey and share that with the listeners, what was like your number one eye-opener?
Ooh, good question. I think recently, with regards to, guessing, because most people who listen to this are going to be producers making their own music, that kind of thing. And really, for me, it's make exactly the kind of music that you want. Don't worry too much about it if it doesn't fit into a box, if it doesn't fit into some kind of vibe. I think you really have to like it first. You really have to enjoy listening to it first. And I think the best ones for me has been when it's just been, again, just open the session, do what you want, record a load of stuff, try a load of things, and also going back to what we were saying earlier, it's kind of like the first instinct. So going on from that, with this album and with a lot of the tracks I've been doing this year, a lot of the guitars and a lot of the guitar solos, I've just kind of left it in on the first take, because I realized that the first take, even if it wasn't perfect, was the most authentic. So, and I haven't even gone back and fixed it. So even like there was one I did which is coming out in July, and you can kind of hear there's a kind of few scratchy things, and maybe I missed a note and everything, but I tried to do a second take. It didn't work. I couldn't capture the same vibe again. So yeah, I think probably my number one piece of advice is just listen to your instincts. And most of the time, your first instinct is correct. Most of the time, your gut instinct is correct.
Yeah, and I think especially in our community of lo-fi music and also for the listeners of lo-fi music, the goal is not perfection in this.
I don't think it is in any kind of music as well, because I always say perfect is the enemy of good. And I see so many people, not just online, but in my own personal life as well, who won't put anything out because I think they want it to be perfect, but I'm already listening to it and going, but it's really good. And it doesn't, I don't think there's any such thing as perfect.
Yeah. Oh, there's this one quote. I'm not sure if I can give it again right, but it's also a Venus Theory video. I really love this YouTuber. He's so great on doing
I think I've seen him, yeah.
He's doing this, he have his own style, you know, it's kind of dark and super quiet and relaxing.
Nice.
How he talks and stuff. But he also said like, try to finish music that sounds good, because if you're aiming to do a perfect song, you will never finish. Perfect is never finished. No, yeah, exactly. Something like that.
Yeah, that's great. I love that. Perfect is never finished.
Perfect is never finished, and that's finish something good, and because perfect is never finished. Something like that. Yeah, it's a short quote, but it was really mind-blowing.
Yeah, I think the other thing for me is that you don't really get to decide which one of your tracks are the ones that everyone else really likes.
Yeah.
So you could be. I had this with something as well, where I was working on it for ages, and I didn't really capture the it kind of missed when I released it, because I've been working on it for ages, and you just think, well, obviously, like I thought it was really good, but everyone else was kind of like, it's okay. But yeah, and then some of the things that I guess where I haven't really put much thought into it and think, oh yeah, that might do something. It's just exploded. So yeah, your audience is the ones who will determine it. So yeah, exactly. I think just make what you think, and then just see what the feedback you get.
Yeah, I also experienced that songs that I actually put out and disliked, and also kind of played with the thought of taking it off again, got feedback on that. Oh, I really love this song.
Yeah, and suddenly that's the one on Instagram where it's like the comments have gone mad, and the views and everything, and people are going, "This is great," and you think, "Really?" So,
like, why? Yeah. Why do you like this one?
Yeah,
even I
exactly.
Don't like it. Oh yeah, fantastic, man.
Yeah. So yeah, that's just how I approach things, and yeah, that's sort of my philosophy on it. So that would be the advice I would give to people in our space and just in music in general.
Exactly. Yeah, I think also Rick Rubin said something similar, like just forget about the audience and the listeners. Don't do music for the listeners, something like that. He said in his book, just make it
impress yourself first, and then please yourself as long as you like it. And actually thinking about it, if you like it and you really love it, then there's going to be someone else who does as well. And there's going to be more than one person. You just have to find them. So yeah, I'm a big believer in that.
Yeah, exactly. And it's easier to, let's say you make a track that you really love yourself and you're super proud listening to that. You will be more proud to promote it. And, a happy salesman is a more successful salesman.
That's a great quote as well. I love it. Yeah.
When you're in a super good mood and you really feel well about there are songs, but you can also call them products to sell this product.
Of course. Yeah. Well, I used to work in sales, and it was so much easier to sell a product that you actually really believed in as well, rather than something that you think, oh, I don't feel this. I don't think this person should buy this. It's, as you say, if you believe in it and you really like it, it just sells itself.
Yeah, because it's also authentic.
Mm.
It's also authentic.
Completely agree.
Okay. Yeah, I would say that's a perfect kind of place to cut this podcast.
Great.
For first. But I also would love to re-invite you in quite a bit for a follow-up and have a new chat to see what changed.
That'd be awesome, man.
Maybe after the album release, so we can talk about it.
Yeah, that would be awesome, man. Yeah, I'd love to do that again. Yeah, just awesome. Come back on and do another one with you. A lot of fun on this. It was really cool.
Yeah, glad to hear that. And also thanks for taking the time.
No, my pleasure, man. No, thank you so much for having me on. I'm really honored to be a part of it, actually, because I've been, enjoyed watching the one with Grunchick and enjoyed the one with Leiko as well. I love Leiko, so yeah.
Yeah, you are all connected and in certain ways.
And also, like, I was able to, because I thought, well, somehow I'd missed a few of your tracks and your stuff, so I was really like thinking I need to listen to Relaxicorn stuff, just really dive into it. And I'm thinking this is really great stuff. So
thanks,
I've discovered new music this way as well.
Yeah, for me it's also interesting to kind of having the story and the face behind the artist. Sure. Because in our community it's so often that people are less in the spotlight,
Yeah, definitely. Like kind of, yeah, they never show the face and that sort of thing. So
personal informations in general. And for me personally, what it really needs to connect with an artist is not just the art, but it's also kind of the story.
The person. Yeah, sure. The person.
Because then you start to see some connections between how does this person think and how does the art look or sound like.
Yeah.
And you start to understand it on a way deeper level.
Yeah, and I think that's very inspiring because then it inspires you to create stuff yourself as well.
Exactly. And I hope this podcast will also inspire other people to create something new, something cool.
You're doing a great thing with this, man. It's really, really good stuff. So yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure to be a part of it. And an hour has just flown by,
Yeah, it is.
It's crazy.
Sometimes I do longer episodes, but for the first chat that we did, it's easier to kind of cut it here and then kind of think about that and then come up with other topics, in the future.
Yeah, sure.
And then we can do like a little bit a longer one as a follow-up.
Yeah, I'd love to. It's just whenever it feels the right time to cut. I guess you don't want to be going on for too long. And yeah, absolutely, I'd love to do another one.
So then, first, thanks for listening to the listeners, and tune in next week. And yeah, thanks again for being on it, Paul.
My pleasure, man. I had a great time. Thank you very much for having me.
Thanks.